Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn how to commission Inform Voice for the first time. In order to manage Inform Voice, we need to install an application that runs on a Windows desktop or server that has access to the Inform Voice server, which is our Ubuntu desktop machine. Um, I already copied all the installation files, including the installation file for the administrator application, in a shared drive on a different computer. We use that shared drive to install Inform Voice on the Ubuntu desktop machine. So now I will access that same share in order to install the administrator application here. So I will open Windows Explorer. I will get to my share. And I'm looking for this folder that it's labeled based on the version of the Inform Voice. And here is the application of the administrator, and you will see an install admin executable, which will install the application. So let's run. The installation found some prerequisites that need to be installed first, so let's install them real quick. Now the actual application installation started, so we click on Next, we accept the license agreement, and now we are asked for a server name, which can be an IP address or a name. I prefer to stick with names, so here I will enter the host name or the FQDA name of our Ubuntu desktop machine. I can change the installation folder. I will keep it the way it is. I can change the program folder. So now install is copying all the files. This will take a little bit, so I will pause the video and resume it when the installation finishes. Now the installation is complete, so we will finish. And now we are ready to commission Inform Voice for the first time. So I will find the application which is called Inform Voice Administrator. The first thing that will happen is that I'm being asked for the administrator account. That is the administrator account of the Ubuntu desktop machine. I used a name that I used several years, which is SRV3C support, but you can use a different name like IFV support, IFV admin. Don't use a person's name because it's actually a support account. I entered the password, I verified it. Now I'm asked to accept the license agreement of all the software that's being installed and licensed under Forerunner. And now I'm being asked what kind of installation am I going to do? Am I going to install the primary UCM, which stands for Unified Communication Manager, or a secondary UCM? We will install only primary UCM at this time, which is the first one we need to install anyways. Now we are asked for a license file. So license file, as usual, we need to enable the features and enable the number of stations and trunks and other facilities that the InformVoice provides. So I will browse to my network share because I stored the license there. Here is a folder where I stored the license. License has its XML format. You can read it, but it has a hash value. So don't try to change the text because the hash value will not match. So the license has been validated. And now we are asked for several other initial parameters that the system needs. We are asked if we want to enable a call recording feature. We don't need to do it at this time, but InformVoice supports on-demand or automatic call recording. We are asked if we want to enable the native voicemail of InformVoice. We can do it later. So at this time, we will skip. We need to provide the name of the provisioning server for InformVoice. The provisioning server is the entity that holds the configuration files that all the terminals need. We don't normally assign information directly to the terminal. We do it through the administrator application, which generates files, which are then downloaded to the phone. Usually, the FTP server and HTTP server, which are the two protocols that InformVoice supports, works or is handled by InformVoice itself. But it can be handled by a third-party server. We normally don't do it. So we will need to enable the provisioning server, and we need to input the name of our Ubuntu desktop machine. In this case, I'm gonna use the FQDN name. We are asked to confirm certain messages here. Good. Next, we are gonna be asked for a telephony area. The telephony area is basically the location where InformVoice is being installed in terms of the country and city where it's going to be installed. I'm going to handle an example of a company that works on 3 different cities, mm, even if we install only one server. And the main office will be in Chicago, so I will select a template that works for that uh, city. As you can see, there are templates for different countries and even different templates for the same country, like in the US. So we will use 11-digit dialing, which is used in the city of Chicago. So we will put the country code, which is 1, the area code. I will stay with 847. And here we will enter the main number of the office. What would be the main number of the Chicago office? So now when we close, mm, so we finish the initial commissioning. Now we will ask to install a certificate. Certificates are an important subject in Inform Voice because they provide security to the connections. If, especially if we are going to connect computers with clients and soft phones or smartphones to the system, we want those communications to be secure. Mm. By now, everybody knows that if we browse to our bank, we have to make sure we can see in the title bar of our browser the lock icon. That means that the communication is secure. Well, that is being secured with a certificate. Mm. We will probably cover certificate in a separate video, but here we will create our own certificate because the module that runs the web server and the FTP server that feeds configuration files to the phones need the certificate to even start operating. So I will explain you briefly the process and what's involved with not too many details for the moment. So we will click on this install button that we see here. And we will present it with this dialog box to install a specific certificate, which we don't have. So we will create one by clicking first on this button called Create CSR. CSR stands for Certificate Signing Request, because basically this is what we do when we request a certificate to a public certificate authority, let's say GoDaddy or VeriSign. We need to fill some information about the company, basically. The first information is the common name. I will use the name of the Ubuntu server, basically Ubuntu desktop machine. We need to give a company name and an organizational unit, which should be a department. So I will put training. We need a state, which is the US. And we will need to provide a password. That password protects some files that are kept internally in Inform Voice. So I will create a password for it. Then I need to fill information in this field called subject alternate names. Here are the actual names that are validated by a certificate. This common name is basically no longer used. It's used as information only. So What I will do is I will add that same name under the subject alternate names field. And as I already added, I will uncheck this box because I don't want to add it automatically. There are conditions in which I want to add more names here, and that will be probably explained in another video. So let's save this CSR with this Save CSR button. Let's name it request. So we saved that request successfully, and now we are going to sign that request and convert it into an actual certificate. So I will click on this self-sign button, and I will find the request file. I need to give another password for a root certificate private key, which also is also kept internally. And we need to give the certificate an expiration. Certificates don't last forever. The reason for having 1 year expiration here is because there is a forum that sort of regulates the security of the certificates in terms of duration and other topics. And so far, this is the number of years, actually is specified a number of months that currently the forum allows for the certificate to have. We can put more years, but some software or client software might not accept it because it violates the standards. So let's keep it 1 year. I need to give the certificate a name. So I browse and I put a name in it. And now I will generate this self-signed certificate. Certificate has been signed successfully. So now I can go back to my install button. And now I will actually install the certificate into Inform Voice. I need to provide that password of the request. And optionally, but normally we do it, we provide the information of the Trusted Certificate Authority. That Trusted Certificate Authority has been created in this process. We call it normally the root CA. So we will add, then we will browse, and we will find our root certificate authority under CA private root CA .PEM. PEM is a format used in certificates. So now I press OK, and now I press OK again. And if I see a dialogues box like this, means that the certificate has been installed into the processes that need them, and now I need to restart service in order for the certificates to become active. So this ends the first time commissioning of Inform Voice, and now we are ready to perform the basic configuration of the system. but this will be a subject of a different video. Mm. So with this, I thank you and see you on the next one.